And welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here today we have another 5-year rebuild. This time we will be rebuilding the Arizona Cardinals. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. With the Cardinals, they had a top-tier draft pick in this past class and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm very excited to see how he can develop into this series. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback. 77 overall here, 27 years old. We'll see if we can make things work with Murray. It will definitely be difficult, but hopefully we can develop him nicely. It looks like the Cardinals also drafted a young running back here who will get some option or some starting time and stuff. Trey McBride is also a very good tight end, and defensively, a lot of work to do across the defensive line and even at the linebacking position, but they have a good secondary. Maybe adding a true legitimate #1 corner, but overall this team right out of the box is pretty solid across the board. So let's get into year one. Let's have some fun here. I hope you guys have been enjoying the rebuilds as well as the in the real NFL. I hope your teams are playing well. We're about a little bit past week 2 as I'm recording this. I don't know when this video will go out. And my Giants are 0-2 and very depressing, to be honest with you guys. Well, not the start that you want to see in year one. We're 1-6. This is not something that I think in real life the Cardinals would be. 10 touchdowns, 7 picks for Kyler Murray. James Conner, so far so good. Maybe we get Trey Benson involved more in the second half. Marvin Harrison Jr. has yet to score. Zay Jones, though, he's been playing well. Looks like some of our younger guys playing good. O-line is playing solid, but we're just not turning this into wins. It looks like the defense is playing okay. Might just put on the young guys for the second half of the year. But let's first check out if we're going to make any sort of trades. We have 19 guys needing new contracts. We have $104 million. Buda Baker, Zay Jones here. So definitely want to keep Buda Baker. He is a very good player, 28 years old. And I would like to have him for the next 4 years. Will Hernandez could be another option here. Yeah, I think it's really just Will Hernandez who we try to bring back on that whatever contract that he wants, and we try to trade away both James Conner and Zay Jones. So let's get Will Hernandez under contract, hopefully 2 years, and he does sign. So I am going to try to make a trade, just try to get an extra draft pick for this up-and-coming class. The deal has been made here with the Las Vegas Raiders, trading both Conner and Jones to get a 5th-round pick and Jack Jones here. He's in his 3rd year, so we'll have him for another season, but he's close to an 80 overall star dev corner, and that should help us out. So let's get to the postseason, and let's see what happens here in the year one. Well, we go 4-13 in year one. Not a great start. Definitely have to be thinking about quarterback in this up-and-coming class. Trey Benson, though, I think if he had a full season, he could have hit over 1,000 yards. So happy about that. Marvin Harrison Jr., 7 scores, 900 yards. I mean, we got the young guys involved, which is nice to see. We got to get a big offensive weapon in this up-and-coming free agency pool. And then it looks like defensively, Darius Robinson here, he had a good year. He's up to an 80 overall across the defensive line, so that's nice to see. He could be in line for defensive rookie of the year too. Jack Jones also added 3 interceptions for us, so not all bad. I think we just have to add in higher end talent in this up and coming free agency. And Darius Robinson, he is defensive rookie of the year. That should bump him up to star development if he doesn't have it already. So that's nice to see. So year one in the books. Let's get to the Pro Bowl roster, and then let's see who's the Super Bowl champ. And here's the Pro Bowl roster. No quarterbacks, no running backs, no receivers, definitely no tight ends. I'm not seeing an offensive lineman. There's Robinson, so he got in. That's nice to see. So that could bump him up to superstar. I don't really know if that would. And then, yeah, so we had one Pro Bowl in year one. Not too bad. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl. And this year's Super Bowl champs are the Baltimore Ravens, beating the Lions 42-21. Lamar won his MVP. Well, after year one, we gotta start figuring things out here. I don't expect too many retirements, if any. Not seeing any right now, and I would assume that we just seen one by now. So, no retirements, but we gotta get into this off season here. I don't know if we're gonna re-sign anyone, but I do know that we need to bring in a big-time offensive weapon next to Marvin Harrison Jr. to help us out. Inside linebacker could be also a potential need for us, and even offensive line. Those are probably the two big needs that I can think for this team. No fifth-year option, so not gonna do anything here. So let's first check out the roster, see what moves we need to make, and then we'll get into open free agency. So right now, the current state of the roster looks like this. Definitely needing offensive lineman help. Definitely another playmaker at receiver, or heck, even running back. You could argue in to find a new quarterback, but it might be a lot to do. Robinson here did go up to a superstar dev, so already in his first season, he's gone up a couple developments. So that's good. We have a good young defensive lineman to build around. Inside linebacker is definitely a need. I would even say corner to a certain extent. I mean, Jack Jones here does add some help. Defensive line is the other big one. So it's really defensive line and O-line. I got 5 targets for this up-and-coming free agency class. So Keenan Allen is out there trying to just get a solid number 2 receiver. Garrett Bowles to help out this offensive line. Paulson Adebo, he's the best young player available. We have the money, might as well target him. Jerome Baker here to be a good solid inside linebacker for us, and BJ Hill. These 3 I definitely think we can get. I don't know about everyone else. And we only got Garrett Bowles. Wow. So Keenan Allen going to the Titans, Paulson Adebo going to the Commanders, and Jerome Baker going to the New York Giants. So it's kind of have to go back to the table here. Having to go back to the negotiation table here. Going after Ryan Kelly. He's one of the better offensive linemen still available. Same with David Bakhtiari, Chuba Hubbard, BJ Hill, and Zach Bond here. So I know we signed Garrett Bowles. Oh yeah. So I don't need to go after David. That's on me. But I'm still going to be targeting these guys. I completely forgot. And it looks like we got BJ Hill and Zach Bond. Unfortunately, Ryan Kelly goes elsewhere. We now have helped the offensive line, the defensive line. We've yet to get a playmaker, and hopefully Chuba Hubbard can be that for us. So I guess we're not going to be playing too many players. Zach Bond can come in here and be a starter, or we might draft someone in this up-and-coming class. But I think with this top first-round pick, it might be offensive line. It could be a quarterback. Who knows? Current state of the roster right now, you could, I mean, definitely the inside of this offensive line needs some work. I think we're okay now at running back. We need a receiver. Bulls will be kind of a band-aid. You could argue in a quarterback. Kyler Murray is only a 79 overall, 28 years old. He's not getting any younger, so, and I don't know how much better he can really get to in this series. Defensively, our defensive line has improved, especially because of Robinson's development. We did bring in BJ Hill to help us out. Corner room is solid, same with safeties. I almost think that this is a time because we had the second overall pick. Do we trade out of this selection? You know, we're gonna let the Giants go first. They go James Turner, the top probably quarterback in this class. I mean, what direction do we go in terms of the top 5 talent here? I guess the CPU didn't look at that. They looked at quarterbacks for us, and there's no one in my radar book. So if I then go just by top 5 projected player, I mean, we could get an edge rusher. We could get up another playmaker, but I think this is a spot to trade out of and try to accumulate some more draft picks and still try to pick in the top 10. So let's see if we can make a good move. I wanted to stay right around the top 10. And I think, I can't trade with the Rams. Well, never mind. So I'm gonna be going, I wanted to stay in the top 10. So instead of trading with the Rams, I completely forgot. That's an in-division trade. We're gonna trade here with the Commanders. We're gonna get their first, second, and 5th round pick this year. We go all the way back to the 7th overall pick, and we're gonna let them do their thing. We get some more draft capital for this up-and-coming class, and we're gonna try to get some good players here. And how about pairing up Marvin Harrison Jr. with Terrence Davis here? A pure deep threat here. We're trading back. We traded back, and we're now adding a top-tier wide receiver, top 10 talent in this up-and-coming class. He has elite speed, hidden dev, exactly what you want to see. We give Kyler Murray another playmaker to work with, and he's young, someone who we can continuously build around, and now we have 2 second-round picks as well. But right here, I think we're going to help out the offensive line. Jake Weber, center. And this is our first second-round pick. We're getting him right around his range. No hidden development, but I think he could be a solid starter. With our other second-round pick, Matthew Kent here, is a defensive lineman. I think he can play solid football for us. Unfortunately, no hidden development, and it might have been a little bit of a reach. Gonna take the last round 1 talent on the board. Sanrenko Shelton here, tight end. We don't need a tight end, but this could allow us to have a couple good young playmakers across the board and potentially good trade pieces as well. He does have hidden development, and that's awesome. Taking a look at the draft class. Tevin Davis here, pure deep threat wide receiver. I think he will be a good Robin to Marvin. Hopefully Marvin can teach him a thing or two. Jake Weber here comes out as a 73 overall, normal dev. He'll be a solid center for us. He'll probably start from day 1, so at least 2 starters. Looks like I got a little bit of a reach here with Matthew Kent here, but he might start just because of his youth. Doesn't really matter about the overall. And then we had 2 other selections here. We drafted as well. The game will load for me. Or excuse me, 1 other selection. Sheldon here, who will be a solid number 2 tight end for us. Great speed, great hands. He should be a good player for our offense. We got a little younger for the playmakers. And that also means that, players like Trey McBride, we could look to trade. And it looks like the CPU got us a couple depth players across the board. Looks like solid players. So let's jump into year 2. As this will be the roster for year 2. We got a true number 2 wide receiver in the draft in Davis. We're gonna actually make him the number 2 guy. Of course, we have Marvin Harrison Jr. Hopefully he can help us out here. Somewhat improve the offensive line with Weber. We'll see what that'll do. Defensively, a little bit more just kind of band-aids across the board. This team is still very young, but we're trying to get some victories, trying to get to at least above 500, I would say. If we can do that in year 2, that would be great. Well, year 2 is going better, a lot better. We're 5-2 at the midway point. So far, so good. What's happening with this team? It looks like Kyler Murray is at least putting up some good numbers if the game will ever load. 13 touchdowns, 9 picks. Trey Benson here, 4.1 yards a carry. That's good. Marvin here, 503 scores. Trey McBride is playing well. It looks like we have some good complement receivers here. The offensive line is playing good as well. And defensively, they're right now leading the charge. No sacks, but Mack Wilson here with 6 interceptions at inside linebacker. That's the key difference right now. So far, so good. It looks like we have a top 5 offense in terms of yardage. And we have 8 players to negotiate, $85 million. Trey McBride, Thompson here, Jack Jones here, Garrett Bowles, BJ Hill. We have a few starters and a few important players to consider here. You could say we just drafted McBride's replacement, and we kind of did. So this is something we have to think about. I think with Thompson here, I want to keep him for at least the next few seasons. Don't want to kind of have to look for a new safety. He still needs a little bit more money. Jack Jones here is replaceable. Garrett Bowles, we'll see. So yeah, what do we do with Trey McBride here? 25 years old. He's a vertical threat. He can do a little bit of everything. I think we offer him a contract. If he rejects us, we kind of go into, we kind of tag, we're going to do a tag if not. He does accept the 3-year deal. So we'll see if we can get Thompson back. But the reason I want to keep Trey McBride was just because I don't know how a second-year tight end will truly replace him. We did lose to the Niners, but I don't know how a second-year tight end could replace him. So yeah, I didn't want to make that risk. Bump up Johnson or Jalen Thompson here. Still doesn't want to re-sign, so let's just get to this playoffs. We have a good record right now. Hopefully we can keep. Well, a 9-8 record has gotten us to the wild card round. That's awesome. Year 2, we got some playoff football for you guys. Kyler Murray, 32 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. Still a turnover machine, but still playing well. Trey Benson, 1,100 yards, 4.1 yards a carry, and 3 scores. Not a lot of rushing touchdowns, but our passing game was on point this year. 4 guys over 800 yards, each guy at least over 6 touchdowns. That's very nice to see from our young core at playmaker. In terms of this defense, it looks like Robinson here, he led us the way with 9 sacks. And Mack Wilson here with 8 interceptions, 4 sacks, 8 TFLs. That's very nice to see as well. We had a top 12 offense in terms of yardage. And the #1 ranked defense. So it's the defense that's leading the way for us. No one in terms of MVP or Coach of the Year. Mack Wilson is your Defensive Player of the Year. And in terms of any other winners in terms of anything, best linebacker was again Wilson. So we do kind of have a little bit of a gem there in Mack. But we have playoff football here. We got the Green Bay Packers. Can we overcome them? We can't. We go 1 and done here. But year 2, getting to the playoffs, that's fantastic. You know, in these episodes, it's been very much of a struggle to do so. In terms of the Pro Bowl roster, no quarterbacks, no running backs. Not expecting a receiver. McBride got in. He's the best tight end. No one in terms of this offensive line, it looks like. Defensively, same thing. So far, Mack Wilson did get in. That should put him up to star development at bare minimum, but we'll see. So, year 2 in the books. We made it to the postseason. I want more. Let's see what we can do in this offseason. This year's Super Bowl champs are the Philadelphia Eagles, beating over the Texans 30-17. Jalen Hurts is your MVP. So the Philadelphia Eagles got into the Super Bowl. Let's see if there is any retired Cardinals. Got to scroll pretty far. I should have went the other way, I guess. Garrett Bowles decided to retire after 9 seasons. It was a solid offensive lineman for us. But unfortunate. Looks like we're gonna have a little over $100 million to work with in this up-and-coming free agency. 7 players to make decisions on. Paris Johnson here, definitely gonna pick this 5th-year option up. Jalen Thompson here. It looks like his number went down. I would like to keep him, so I am gonna offer him a 3-year, $30 million. He does re-sign. For Jack Jones here, a 1-year, $5 million is not bad at all. And I think he could be a solid corner for us. He does re-sign that 1-year offer. BJ Hill, I'll think about for a second. Not gonna re-sign those two. Blake Gilliam, maybe we should keep this punter. I don't know. He's gonna go to free agency. BJ Hill, he wants a 1-year, 11. If he assigns this, I will keep him. Okay, cool. And yeah, I'm not gonna let my punter go. So we'll go in with $74 million, getting some players to 1-year deals. That should help us out a lot. Current state of the roster right now. It looks like Marvin Harrison Jr. is developing nicely. Davis comes out as a star dev. Trey McBride got up to superstar, so happy we kept him. It looks like offensively, it's really this O-line. Really right tackle is the position of need the most. Defensively, Mac Jones gets up to a star development. Could look at corner if we wanted to, linebacker, defensive line. Any of those positional groups makes a whole lot of sense. I got some big name free agents that we're targeting. Ofi here, big time pass rusher. Same with Jermaine Johnson here. 2 guys that I would love to add to this defensive line. Joel Batoni here, good offensive lineman. Iquanu here would be a good tackle. And then Kenneth Murray here could be a solid inside linebacker for us. So we got 5 targets here. Joe Batoni here is yet to make a decision. But we get Iquanu. We get Keith Murray here. We did not get either of the 2 pass rushers, going to Seattle and the Titans. So that kind of hurts. And we also lost out on all these other quality starters. So we'll see if we can even get Joel to come to this roster to shore up more of this offensive line. We did help out the offensive line and the linebacking core, but it's gonna be tough sledding here. I'm gonna see if I can make any more moves just because we should have money to. But we might have to go right into the draft here. Adding in a couple more targets here. Daniil Hunter and Matt Gay, a pass rusher and a kicker. Wouldn't be too bad of options. We got Hunter and we got Matt Gay. Joel Batoni here, we would really have to raise this a lot. I will raise the initial offer. I would like to get him onto this team just to shore up more of this O-line. We have one more evaluation. He decides not to come here, so I guess we'll keep about $30 million in-house. And let's just get to the draft. Let's see if we can improve the team, getting some youth to the roster. Well, current state of the roster right now, I think offensively we look pretty good. We have a good young back, couple good young receivers, some good tight ends. We got playmakers across the board with Kyler Murray. We've helped out this offensive line significantly. Defensively might be a little bit more where need to kind of hit, but we got Daniil Hunter, we got Murray to shore up this front 7 here. Could consider corner. We have this 20th overall pick. Let's see what we can do. Let's help out this defense here, getting Dylan Bush, a defensive tackle. Run stopping ability with a little pass rush. Bush here comes out with normal dev, but 88 strength, 71 speed. Hopefully he can develop nicely for us. I don't know just yet. We'll turn to the secondary here in the second round. Lewis Rice, a hybrid safety, might play in the slot for us in this up-and-coming season. We got him in the second round, 20th overall, 91 speed, hidden dev, 6 foot, solid pick. And then we'll get Randy Kendricks here, a cover linebacker here. So all defense, all 3 levels, another hidden dev player. Mostly just trying to help out maybe the positional group that needs the influx of young talent. We have a lot of that on the offensive side of the football. We have 2 good tackles. We've improved the interior. So I do think drafting 3 defensive players make a whole lot of sense. Bush here comes out as a 73. Might need a year to develop, but I think with this base skill set, he could be a solid rotational defensive lineman. Lewis Rice here might play in the slot day 1. He has the speed and the cover ability to do so that's nice to see. As well as we do have to consider our 2 safeties are getting older. And then Randy Kendricks here, good cover linebacker, good height, weight, and speed. Give him a year or so, and he might end up being a starter.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
My game crashed, so I had to restart here, but this will be the roster as we enter into year 3. And I think this is really kind of the prove it year for Kyler Murray. Oh, so I just crashed again. I am gonna try to reopen, but if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to do some editing. Sorry about that, guys. I know we had a couple crashes here before year number 3 starts. It's been a few days since I've looked at this recording. I kind of forgot about it. But here we are now. So let me kind of get a little refamiliarized with this team. Kyler Murray, as we enter into year 3 of this 5-year rebuild, 29 years old. This is the year that he needs to go out there and prove it, why he should still be our top tier quarterback. We've developed a Trey Benson here to be a top tier running back, Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. We drafted Terrence Davis here a year ago in the 1st round, excellent deep threat. But year 3, it's about putting it all together. We just made it to the postseason a season ago. We helped out the defense by bringing in a bunch of different players. So excited to get into year 3. Hopefully we can pick up some more victories and make it back to the postseason. Well, a 2-4 start to year 3 is not exactly what we were thinking about. Kyler Murray, 12 touchdowns, 6 picks. Okay so far season. Trey Benson here, 4 yards a carry and a score, but our running game is not producing. Neither is our passing game right now. Offensive line, they're playing pretty solid, I would say. And then defensively, still kind of figuring out the nuances of this defense. We're just kind of underperforming across as a team. So let's go see any sort of re-signings if we need to bring anyone back. We have $100 million. Michael Wilson here. He is our 3rd receiver. Don't know about him. Zay Collins here. He could be a good quality addition to keep. BJ Ojolari, he's been a solid pass rusher. A lot of these guys are solid starters on the roster, but I think for right now, I'm gonna kind of hold pat here. See kind of where this season takes us here. We have 2 big 5th-year option decisions to make. So for right now, we're just gonna kind of truck along here. Let's get to the playoffs. Let's see if we can make it to the postseason. Well, a 4-13 season is not what I was expecting. 31 touchdowns here for Kyler Murray, but also 21 interceptions. And I think kind of now the writing's on the wall here with Murray. 3 years, he's been a turnover-prone quarterback that can make some big plays here and there. Okay on the ground. And hopefully we can get out of his contract. But I think it's time to move off of him. Trey Benson here, 1,000 yards and 2 scores. Not really a running game that I want to see. Marvin Harrison Jr., 1,000 yards and 9 scores. Maybe trying to add a 3rd option here could help out our next quarterback. That kind of becomes the question, is do we want to develop someone for 2 seasons or drafts or go into more free agency? Danielle Hunter led us in sacks. Darius Robinson, who's been the standout playmaker on this team, he's continuing to produce. And then in terms of yearly awards, I don't think we'll have any. And I see a lot of Niners and yeah, nothing for us. So year 3 is kind of a wash. Let's get into the off season. Let's see what moves we can make. But first, the Pro Bowl list. Not expecting to see any one of us. No quarterbacks, no running backs here. No one at receiver. Not seeing anyone in terms of our offensive line. Defensively, same story. This is just kind of a down season. We'll have a top tier draft pick. Again, entering into this off season, can we get out of the contract of Kyler Murray? Can we find a quarterback that can lead us into a Super Bowl contention? That's really the question mark. As we're gonna be just about to find out who wins the Super Bowl this year between Dallas and the Chiefs, and it looks like the Cowboys won. Dak Prescott is your MVP as Dallas gets their Super Bowl. In terms of retirements, let's just kind of scroll to the Cardinals. Not expecting too many or any. We got none, so no one retired. But now, as we now enter into the off season here, you know, quarterbacks on my mind. What do we do about some of these contracts? We have $114 million, both with Harris and Robinson here. I'm picking up these 2 fifth-year options for. They're 2 of our cornerstone playmakers. Michael Wilson here, I think we're gonna let go. Zay Collins, he could be a candidate to bring back. I mean, these are 3 starting linebackers and a corner. Yeah, we can't really afford to let a lot of these guys go. We'll start here with Will Hernandez. Just a solid guard option, and he does not want to re-sign. I'm not looking to franchise tag him. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone else that I would be worth interested keeping. And I'm not seeing anyone else back there. So I think it's from Sean Martin, Bunting, and on. With Sean here, a 1-year, $6 million for continuity purposes. Try to keep him on a $7 million. He does re-sign, so that's nice to bring him back. For Mac Wilson, I think it's between Mac Wilson and Zay Collins. It's one or the other. But I think Wilson is just can do a little bit more for us. So he does resign. So Zay Collins, we'll probably let him test. And BJ Ojulari, he's developed nicely. He's a solid pass rusher. But he does not look to wanting to come back. So that kind of makes me then want to offer here to Zay Collins. And he doesn't want to come back either. What's the tag on these guys? 24 and 26. I think we bring back Zay Collins. He's younger. We give him the franchise tag, and we'll go into the offseason with about $72 million. And this is the current state of the roster right now. Kyler Murray has dropped all the way down to normal development. So, you know, we could look to release him. We would save about $10 million. So this is an option to where we could go. Try to trade away Murray. Try to get an established quarterback that can come in here. Kind of do like Jared Goff and the Niners and the Lions did a few years ago. We could go into that direction. We need a third receiver. We need a guard. And then defensively, I mean, I think we're a little bit more shored up here. I mean, defensively, we have our 2 safeties. We have 2 corners. We could use a third. I think our linebacking core is solid. So I don't think it's mostly the offense that we have to focus in on. So I'm going to see if I can make a trade for a quarterback and see what we can do. And a deal has been made here. We're trading away the 2nd overall pick this season, a 2nd round pick next year, and a 3rd round pick a year after that, while also trading away both a number 3 corner in Elijah Jones, Sheldon here, and Kyler Murray to receive Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk. So we got ourselves a true number 1 receiver. Or did it not go through? I thought it went through. Is that such a total brain fart on my end? Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. Let me try to sweeten the deal a little bit more. Okay, it looks like I can't make this offer. which is kind of unfortunate. Let me see if I can just trade away Kyler Murray to a team and try to go from there. Well, a deal has been made here. So, you know what? We forgot about Trevor Lawrence. We're deciding to go get Jayden Daniels from the Washington Commanders. We're also trading back 5 spots in this up-and-coming draft, so from number 2 to number 7, and next year's second-round pick. So we have gotten ourselves a franchise quarterback. So now let's get into free agency and try to make some more moves. Targeting 3 players here: Marlon Humphrey, Devontae Wicks here, and Will Hernandez. Just trying to help out this team the best we can. We get Wick to come over from the Packers, but we did not get, what's his name? Marlon Humphrey, it looks like. So Humphrey goes somewhere else. It's unfortunate. He goes to the Patriots. Though I will, target Kenny Moore, try to bring him in. Just want to add another corner, a solid veteran. This is not a good free agency pool for any one of us. So, not looking to make too many other signings. Well, current state of the roster right now, as we all know, we traded for Jayden Daniels here. It's going to be our guy moving forward. He is a couple points higher overall than Kyler Murray, but he has 1 year left on his deal, so that means we're going to have to re-sign him after this season. But in terms of this draft class, we could look to add another receiver if we wanted to. Interior offensive line is still pretty important. And then front 7 mostly. Maybe another corner. We brought in Kenny Moore. But we have the 7th overall pick. I think we're going to kind of go BPA. D'Angelo Nichols here, corner out of Temple, will be the selection here with the 7th overall pick. And he's a top 5 talent. Hidden dev, good athlete across the board, 6'4". I know we added Kenny Moore, but now we got ourselves another top-tier corner. Going to the well of the offensive line, Marlon Betts here. He will be a solid, hopefully, guard for us. And he has 87 strength and hidden development. Could be a day 1 starter. And then I'm going to draft Marquise Green here. He's a receiver. Probably will be our number 4 guy. Normal dev, 88 speed. But that'll be the draft here before we enter into year 4. So we drafted 3 players here. Top tier playmaker here in D'Angelo, 77 overall. He'll start out as a 78. Happy to see that from potentially our 3rd corner. But excited to have him on the roster. Marlon Betts here, 74 overall, also hidden development. He'll be a solid guard option for us for the couple, for the remaining few seasons. And then we also drafted a receiver, 69, and then CPU got us a couple other 70s, so happy about that. Solid draft class. As this will be the roster for year 4, we brought in Wicks to help out our receiving room. We have a new starting quarterback here in Jayden Daniels. Bates will sit for right now. Maybe at the mid-season mark, we'll look to start him. But I think this is a solid team all around. It's now just time for them to all put it together here. So let's get to the midway point, and let's see if we have a better record than a 2-4. And this is what I want to see, a 5-2 record. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a Cardinals fan. This isn't. I don't know why Jayden Daniels has 4 touchdowns to 2 picks. All of our scores has came from Trey Benson here with 7. Marvison has no scores yet. You know, kind of running the football our way to victory, which is kind of a surprise here. But yeah, we're 5-2. Looks like our defense is carrying us to this starting point. We have $122 million. Jayden Daniels, Trey Benson, Max Melton here. We have a lot of key starters. And regardless of how he's playing right now, I traded a boatload of capital to get him. So We're going to try to re-sign Jayden Daniels, $175 million offer. And he does re-sign. Trey Benson here. This is actually a very quick and easy decision for us. Bring him back. Max Melvin here. Another low-end salary. I would really like for him to stay. He's still thinking about it. And Paris Johnson here. Just a solid tackle. Need him to stay here as well. And he's still thinking about it. Zaven Collins, Sean Murphy, Bunting, Kenny Moore, Daniil Hunter. Those are some other key starters, but for now, not going to really worry about them. I'll try to come back to the table for Johnson and I forget the other guy's name already, but we'll try to re-sign them this week. And Max here, he re-signs the 4-year contract extension. I couldn't get Johnson to re-sign, so I just kind of simmed to the postseason, and we got there. With a 10-7 record, a little bit of a second half collapse. Jayden Daniels here, an okay season, 26 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. We were able to run the football a lot, which was nice. Receiving, no one really kind of stood out for us. It looks like it was our defense that carried us this way. Robinson, Bush, Hunter, they all played very well. Max Melton here had 9 interceptions, which is very surprised. Happy to get him under contract. He'll be our #1 corner moving forward. But a 10-7 record here. We're looking to not go one and done. And as I'm here on this screen, might as well look through the yearly awards, and I'm not expecting anyone besides corner, and we got it. So we start off here. I believe we are playing against the Packers, the Lions. So let's see if we can beat this Detroit team, make it past the wild card round, and no, we are one and done. So year 5 is again the critical point in this series. So we'll see if we can make some more moves and help this roster out. Let's check out the Pro Bowl list. No quarterbacks, no running backs, definitely no receivers. I'm not expecting really anyone on our offense. Defensively, though, there should be a couple. And I'm not seeing anyone right now, which is surprising. Max got in, but that's very surprising to me. I think that was the punt returner was Nichols, who we did draft with the 7th overall pick. And this year's Super Bowl champs, back-to-back, are the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott again, the MVP over the Baltimore Ravens. In terms of retirements, again, I'm not expecting virtually anyone. And no, we're good there. So let's get to the postseason. Let's look at the re-sign phase, though. If we can get Johnson to come back, that would be very nice for us. Terrence Davis here, I will pick up this 5th-year option for. And he wants a 3-year, $56 million now. I will raise it, see if that... And Johnson does come back. So we have him. But Zaven Collins, I'm going to let go. Same here with Sean Murphy, Bunting. I think I'm going to let everyone else go into the offseason with $80 million and see what we can do. Current state of the roster right now. I mean, we have our receivers, we have our running back, our tight ends. We're good at this offense. Might just need to add a couple interior offensive linemen, and that's about it. And then defensively, a defensive lineman wouldn't hurt. A couple edge rushers as well. Corner, definitely. Probably a little bit more help here on the defense than this offense, which is kind of surprising. Maybe we could look to add another receiver, but let's see what we can do here in this last offseason. I got 4 targets here. Terrence Arnold here, corner, Trey Smith, Ricky Parcell, and Rashard Gary here. Helping out some key positional groups. We evaluate, we got 2 out of the 4. We got Gary, we got Ricky, but Arnold went to the Saints and Trey Smith went to the Panthers. So Gotta try to go back now, see if we can bring in another offensive lineman. There is still Pumpkin here, so we'll target him. For Dominic here. Try to bring him in here for a 3-year contract. Hopefully that works out for us. And then we will go to the well of corner and try to bring in Diggs to be at least our number 2, maybe our number 1. But we'll go after these guys as well. Try to just solidify this team even further, and we were able to do so. So we helped out the offensive line, probably upgraded our 3rd receiver, upgraded our 3rd corner, and got another defensive lineman. We can now enter into this draft class, trying to get some linebackers, trying to get some high development players, and kind of go from there. And after free agency, this is the state of the team. The offensive line looks very much secured. Our receiving core, same thing. We look very solid across the board. Same with tight ends. I think offensively we're set. Defensively, you could argue anything at linebacker, maybe another safety, unless you think Rice could take over. But I think it's really linebacker here, and maybe some other positional groups, but I think we're gonna only have 2 picks, so let's start here with the 22nd. Steven Springs here, pass rusher. Like I said, we're gonna go after some linebackers here, and I think Springs can provide somewhat of a rush. Hidden dev, okay athlete, happy about that. Zach Childress here, another linebacker here in the 3rd round, and this will be my last pick. So we go 2 linebackers in this draft class. Childress here is hidden dev. I don't know if he'll get on the field, but happy about that. So sim the rest of this draft class, get into year 5 here. We'll first take a look at it. We got 1 more year. We made it to the postseason 2 times in this 5-year rebuild, and hopefully we can get back in again. So Steven Springs here, 73 overall, hidden development. He will be a solid pass rusher on this defense. Happy about that. Childress, I think, came down as a 69. He did. Also a hidden development. Looks like he could start. He just kind of needs to continue to tackle well and cover. And the CPU got us a running back, 72. And for year 5, this will be the roster here. Jayden Daniels at quarterback. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey Benson, Trey McBride, Ricky Passell here, Terrence Davis here. That's a solid offense here with a defense that has an excellent secondary, a good front 3 with some quality linebackers across the board with Buda Baker. This is a solid team. I don't think there's any reason we shouldn't make the postseason, but there's always a chance here in the sim. But I do have the high expectations that we can make it back to the postseason for the 3rd time in this rebuild, which I believe would be the most in any of my 5-year rebuilds. We're trying to make it to a Super Bowl and win it. And if you guys are enjoying today's video and enjoying these videos, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me out. A little bit of an update I will give at the end of today's video. So look out for that. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it, and I'm sorry for any of the technical issues. So, have we made it back to the postseason? Or are we going to end this video pretty quickly? We did make it back to the postseason with an 11-6 record. Best record in this series. And how did we get to this point here? Jayden Daniels, 33 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Definitely the best season from any of our quarterback play. Trey Benson, 1,300 yards and 17 scores. And Ricky here, 1,000 yards and 7. Marvin Harrison, he had 8 and 6. Trey had 8 and 8. So we had a solid passing game, an offensive line that produced, a defense here that also looks like they produced, especially the front 3. They very much carried our sacks and everything else. We didn't get the ball hawking turnovers like we were used to a season ago, but can we now not be a one and done team? Can we make it back? Can we finally get a win in this postseason, and we do. We beat the Seattle Seahawks. Let's just sit here and say we split the series with them, or the tiebreaker. And with the Chicago Bears, we lost to them. And that is unfortunate here in the divisional round, year 5. We got pretty far, I mean, though we only scored 3 points as the 7th seed. We barely got in, even with an 11-6 record. It's unfortunate. But that will be today's rebuild. I hope you guys enjoyed today's action. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. I do want to give you guys a quick little bit of a channel update here, as I believe this will be the 8th one of these rebuilds that I have done. And so as I'm recording this right now, it's the late stages of September. I think I'm going to be making the shift over to me actually playing. And that series will start soon after this video is dropped. I have another video that drops before this one. So yeah, guys, so I'm going to be transitioning to that style of rebuild. I have the team picked out. No, I'm not going to name them here. But there will be a channel, there will be a reveal video, and within that video, we will play week 1. So very excited to get into that rebuild. Very excited to start that. That should be in the beginning stages of October. And we'll probably focus on that for a little bit, and then I'll start re-adding in these 5-year rebuilds for you guys. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's action. Again, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and I will see you in the next one.